Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to look at Bitcoin. Just very brief, just sort of talk about what I think is going to happen to Bitcoin. Again, it isn't financial advice in any way. Make sure that you do your own research and never FOMO because that's how you're going to lose money. Um, so, just on first glance, again, I mean, I'm not qualified in any way, so I just sort of I just like talking about it and just just giving my opinion. But you can clearly see that we are entering sort of a level of interest for both sides. I think if you were thinking of going short, obviously we're coming up to a fairly clear level of resistance, and I'm sure it will first time round reject or at least consolidate in the area. I think sort of midterm, like we could pull back a little bit, but we will certainly sort of break those previous highs. And I think a realistic sort of target, sort of in the mid to long term, is $100,000 for Bitcoin. And I know a lot of people say it's quite a nice round number, but I do think that is certainly achievable in this cycle. But obviously, previously, if we sort of look at how price reacted to this sort of area, you had sort of like a bits of rejection, but also consolidation in the area, and then you actually had a big rejection that came after that, all the way down to $30,000. So pretty much halved in price. That's sort of 50% down, and then from there it went and broke and made its all-time highs. So something similar could happen here, which would cause a lot of people to maybe get trapped in this sort of area. If you're thinking of buying right now, um, it is a little bit different this time round because you've got institutional buying with the sort of ETF approvals, which I guess this entire move's sort of been fueled by in many ways. But I mean, in the last day or two, the move in Bitcoin has been rather large. I mean, last 2 days, if we sort of look here, you're talking over 10% in 2 days. So the RSI is saying overbought, but it can go a lot higher. I mean, if we look on the weekly, the RSI is not too concerning at all. Um, but I mean, if I was to draw a couple of lines, and I mean they're just sort of like rough squiggles, I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of saw something like that, sort of like previously, and then sort of like make our way up to sort of that mark up there. Maybe something like that. And obviously, if you don't have any sort of position right now, this is sort of I'd certainly say that this sort of box or area just sort of here, draw a little box, would be sort of a big area of interest for you because you're coming down to that sort of 40K mark. The last cycle that was an area of support resistance. So if we're coming back down to that sort of first time testing it since the breakout here, then I'd say that I'd have fair confidence that would certainly hold and probably trigger a move back up to certainly these highs, if not beyond. But I mean, long term, I'm certainly bullish on Bitcoin. In the short term, if I didn't have a position, I'm not sure if I'd be buying right now. I think we're in a bit of a FOMO phase again. But if you're in profit and you got a position in profit, then I'd argue that it could be an area of interest in terms of like considering whether you want to hold, and because I mean it's always possible. It is always possible that we just sod what I said, just go bang. Bang. It is always possible, and like if you zoom out at the chart, we've been so bullish. There's no reason why that can't happen. Just go bang, So like that's sort of like a scenario one, boom, and then your like scenario two could just be, you know, bang, and we're up there. and it can happen in a very short space of time. So again, I'm not trying to advise anybody, although I sort of just gave suggestions, sort of like in terms of what I would do. But always do your own research. I am not telling you to do anything. Um, that's for you to make up your mind and to do your own research. But that was, just a very quick discussion of what I personally think could happen next. I'll try and keep these lines here as well. I'll save that and see how it starts to play out. I'll have a couple updates soon. I feel like this is probably the first video where I sort of like talked a little bit better, like more how I like to talk because I've been a little bit nervous for some reason. I mean, I've only just started to do this channel, so if you'd like to subscribe or leave a like or comment cryptocurrency or stock that you'd like me to look at, then that'd be amazing. Um, and I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.